Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 146 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, where we are back on our Savari Necromancer, and we are in Tangled Depths, and we are going to begin progressing the way in as we continue to explore more of Tangled Depths and everything that is here for us to take a look at. Where there's definitely still a lot more in the map. We are 54% complete, but we do have 6 of the waypoints. But there's one big waypoint left where we need to speak to Tizlak about the lay of the land. Or let's go ahead and run back up to the top of Teku New Hawk, basically like the main stronghold here in Tangled Depths. But we can see some chalk right here, and it's not like the safest location in the map, which makes Tangled Depths kind of like an unsafe area to be in, as are the rest of all of the Heart of Thorns maps, where there isn't really like a specific spot that is always like super like well built up and super safe. But here is Tizlak.
Tizlak.
Well, hello. What brings you through this way?
I'm looking for Rata Novus. Ever heard of it?
Rata.
That doesn't sound promising.
I'm assuming you mean an old asuran city?
Yes, near here, underground.
The New Hawk don't call that Rata Novus. We only know it as a forbidden pit of despair.
That really doesn't sound promising.
The city has been dead for generations. Only the bravest venture in now.
Disappointing news, but I'd still like to check it out.
In that case, I can get you a map of the easiest way in.
That sounds great, thanks.
The easiest way is still fraught with peril.
Of course it is.
It's also blocked by a chuck hive. You'll need to dissolve it in order to enter Rata Novus. But don't fret. We New Hawk have a solution for that, in both senses of the word. You see, the jungle has an answer for every question it poses. In this case, the answer is alchemy. I can craft you this solvent, but it requires chuck enzyme. Bring enough back here and you'll have your key to the city.
I will. Where can I find the enzyme?
You can harvest them from the chalk themselves. That route will certainly go faster, if you know the ways of our hunters. Or you might find other New Hawk in the village who are willing to part with theirs.
Got it. Thanks, Tizlak.
So let's go ahead and kill Chalk and talk to the local New Hawk to collect Chalk
I
enzyme,
have all the other
where we have some New Hawk around here that we can actually chat with.
I'm on it.
Specifically, it looks like maybe 2. We have these 2 right here.
Over here. Come here for a second.
Need something?
Be cool, be cool. Don't look at me, look down, like there's something interesting on the ground. Yeah, casual. Casual like that, good. Now, word is... Don't look at me! Word is you're in the market for some chalk enzyme. I got some. You interested? Just cost you a little coin, you know?
Very shifty for basically no reason.
Jungle has turned cruel.
Where we might be able to get some from him.
Welcome,
But maybe it seems like this is actually a little bit bugged, which is interesting. But here we have this New Hawk Stomper.
Always me. I'll never see it again.
What's the matter?
The other day I was hunting chalk for their enzyme. Had a whole satchel full. When I was attacked by the terrible Zacatl. In my haste to flee, I dropped the bag. My heritage warbler was in there.
I happen to have a warbler, given to me by a New Hawk not long ago. Will it help?
What? No. Mine was hand-carved decades ago. An heirloom. What you hold saddens me. Someone told you this was a warbler. It barely lives up to the word. I pictured watching my children's children play with our family warbler. I would blind myself out of shame if I witnessed them playing with whatever that is.
Okay, I get it. I'm trying to gather chalk enzyme anyway. I won't bother you any longer.
Wait, I had a lot of enzyme in that bag. Bring me back the warbler and you can keep it all.
So let's go find the warbler. We also have a star on our map located all the way over here, looks like. Maybe there's one further away. But we know that there is the Jokato area that is up there. So let's try to navigate around. Oh, there's also this star here. The story continues here. and then whatever's down there. So we have like tons of options in this one story step of like things we can do to try to get the enzyme that we need, where we have all of these evil New Hawk here, and then somewhere around here potentially we might see our objective, but I do not see it actually. Where is it on the map? I thought I saw it. Now this is immediately awkward. Maybe it's like not here. Maybe we have to kill. Or maybe it's in the chest. Let's kill this one. And then we'll probably want to recover just a tiny bit. Never takes too long in Guild Wars 2, which is nice. But there's the champion there, which is a little bit scary if I'm being completely honest. Here's this chest. I'm not sure if we'll have time to open it or if we'll get interrupted. Where we got 27 leyline crystals, and there are a lot of New Hawk here. Where, in fact, I do not see anything. I don't think it's from the champion. Maybe I'm wrong. So let's go. There was something over this way, but it's not showing up on the map anymore. So let's just check over here really quickly. Maybe we need to go back. Yeah, I don't see anything over here either. There's this chocolate blitzer we could kill, and I just got an enzyme, which is nice. And realistically, we could probably just go kill a bunch of chalk if we did like any of the events around here. We would probably immediately complete it. But let's go back down here really quickly, and then I need 5 more, worst case scenario. But the gambling guy is gone. Okay, it's like directly this way. Because when I sit by the gambling guy, I'm getting the star on the map. And it looks like the star is here, which is like up there, but maybe it's down here. Maybe I'm going to the incorrect place. No. Oh, I'm so lost. There's a New Hawk Stomper here, just hanging out. But there's just so many chalk around here, so maybe we just take a moment. And I just got 2 more enzyme. I probably could have finished this if I just like went straight for the chalk. But I think maybe that's our best bet. Here? Oh my gosh, is it like 100%? I have all 6 I need? Okay, well I just ran around for 5 minutes when I just needed to kill a few chalk. Okay, hello to Zach. Where we can use the New Hawk path to find Rata Novus. So we have our story marker here. And we have this area that we can go ahead and jump into. And then we are now underground, where we have Techie New Hawk right over there, and we can go this way, which is the way that we went in order to take a look at the underground reservoir. But since we have the enzyme, we can go ahead and break that. And now we can just run through a bunch of chalk tunnels, and we are entering a brand new area that we haven't really been to just yet. The Decayed Hive. Let's run around this way, and basically we probably just want to follow our story marker, where there are a few different things all around here. We might return to certain places in the future. Interesting wall structure there. We can come around this way into this massive area that I have lots of memories of at the decrepit chalk nest. But actually, I'm very familiar with coming just around here to get to Rata Novus, but it looks like it's taking us here. We're going to go far away. And that completes our story mission, which actually just takes us to where I was just saying. So, we have completed the way in, got a mastery point. Now we have Buried in Sight. Search Rata Novus for research on the Elder Dragons. Where we have a Peacemaker report right here. Your crew surveying to the northwest discovered a species of arthropods. These creatures resemble the chalk spoken of in local Hylic lore. Upon discovering the field golem, these creatures grew exceptionally aggressive. The crew was forced to flee, and city defenses were engaged to repel the pursuing chalk. So, let's go ahead, take a look here. Look at this concept art. We got an asuran story.
We should get moving. Where's Timey?
I told her not to, but she wandered off to study some old tech she said looked fantastically intriguing.
Time is of the essence, but we can't leave her here alone.
Wait, guys! I'm here! Don't get your feathers in such a ruffle. I'm fine.
Well, we don't have time to wait here while you play with some new toys. That dragon's not just gonna sit around while we find this Rata Novan research.
It's okay, but we can't delay any longer.
So let's make our way into Rata Novus. We can see the rocks around here look a little bit different. There's some old turrets, and we can see the lost city.
Tislak was right. The city appears long dead. I guess we won't find any allies to rally for our cause.
Such a pity. All those asuran.
Maybe no new allies, but there is something else here. I'm picking up some prints that are definitely not asuran. Looks like they belong to...
Chalk?
Yeah, how did you... Ah, gotcha.
Chalk. Let's go ahead and defeat them. And we can see it seems like the Rata Novans had an issue with the chalk attacking them. Here, let's go ahead and kill this slinger.
Makes sense the chalk are here. This place is a nexus for ley energy. I speculate these things actually channel it somehow.
Great. Well-fed chalk. Probably responsible for the death of this entire city.
Luckily, you can withdraw into the safety of your golem. This is obviously no place for an Asura.
Safety of my golem? What's that supposed to mean? Maybe you need the safety of my golem.
What? I'm not saying it. Nature is.
Okay, enough. Let's pick up the pace.
Now it's time to find Elder Dragon research. Gotta look around this entire place. But we also have Timey here, who should know Rata Novus decently well in the sense that she should be able to be familiar with the technology that is present, and also how to utilize said technology. But I'm not sure if we have specific things we're supposed to do right now. It's been a while since I've been through the story mission, which is a really fun thing about replaying through Guild Wars 2 in the Suspect series, is that some of these missions, it's been a few years since I've played them. Let's go ahead, just explore around here. We can see what looks to be an old golem right here that we can go ahead and deal with, potentially. Maybe it'll wake up, but maybe it's just completely decrepit here. Similar to these old turrets. Let's keep going around this way. And maybe we have to return to the NPCs. So let's go. I immediately got turned around. Oh, they're right over here. So let's get back over this way. But this entire area looks so cool, especially with the waterfalls up there.
We need to find the lab where they conducted their dragon research. What's the best way to do that?
Maybe if we power up the city, Scruffy could trace the biggest energy draw. Logically, it should be the hub of their research.
Sounds reasonable. How do you restore power to this place?
That's what I was investigating before you got here, not playing with toys, Bram. Anyway, they had a different procedure for refining ley energy and using it for power.
Impressive.
This thing's an offline ley collector. We could manually turn enough of them on to get the juice flowing, but the chalk will notice and come running.
It's worth the risk. Get it started.
Also love like all the plants that are growing down here. We kind of have what seems to be similar to like an artificial sun, or at least light in this massive cavern. Ton of chalk all around here.
Chalk are enough of a challenge to keep me sharp for more trouble.
I've got good news for you if you're itching for a fight. The more of these we turn on, the more chalk they'll attract. So yeah, math. Deadly math.
Just keep doing your thing, Timey. We'll take care of whatever comes.
And this is kind of reminiscent of Rata Novus Lane during the Chalk Garret, where we have these ley collectors and the chalk are attacking and we have to basically fight them off, but with the addition that we're actually getting ley energy and throwing it on a golem in order to activate it and power it up to fight the Chalk Garret. So it's kind of fun. We got like the first aspect of that mechanic in the meta event here in the story mission. Timey's a little upset currently.
There, finally.
But of course, with that, some more chalk that we can go ahead and do. And then a third one over here. I'm kind of surprised, you know, to some extent, wouldn't the chalk continuously be swarming in greater and greater numbers? Because that kind of seems like what they would be like as a species. But of course, mechanically, we don't have that because we would just immediately die once like 3,000 chalk attack this one area. But maybe they only come in groups.
Still multiple collectors left before the city turns on.
So here's a third one that's activated. Kind of has like a V right there, which is
I wondered
interesting.
the same thing, and the Rata Novus had quite an answer. The fixtures above us are actually clusters of optic cables that run up to the surface. They carry natural light down below. No power needed.
All the way down here and you still get daylight.
It's ingenious. I hope we get to see how they solve one of the underground ventilation problems. It could revolutionize all future asuran construction.
You won't find it standing here. On to the next one.
There are likely a ton of these all around the city. But as we activate things, we might need to be careful of activating the defenses that were used against the chalk and any other potential threats around here. I just love looking up in this area. And we got like some really far away decorations up here that just look so cool with the combination of asuran architecture alongside like being inside of a cavern, which is of course where the asuran come from. They once lived underground, and Rata Novus to some extent is kind of a return to them living underground after they came up to the surface, driven up by Primordis.
You know, is it just me or is the call quieter down here?
I noted that as well. Mordremoth's voice was growing to a great bellow as we drew closer. Here it's a whisper. It's a welcome respite.
Was it becoming too much for you?
Was it for you?
No, my resolve is stronger than that.
Mine as well.
Some banter back and forth, exclusive to Savari players, which is fun. And it is kind of interesting to see like this little bit of a story where it seems like Mordremoth isn't able to whisper to the Savari in this location and presumably in other cavernous locations deep underground.
A few more, and we'll have enough power to get any of the surviving systems up and running.
And from there?
Scruffy will allow me to track where all this power is headed.
Good. We find a lab. With any luck, we find their dragon data. Let's get the last one going.
Last one going.
Hold up! Scruffy's picking up some unusual readings. It looks like it's a golem signature. Old-fashioned, but different than anything I've seen before.
Does that mean?
We must have powered up the city enough to turn on its defenses. And then we triggered said defenses. Yay, us.
Heads up, everyone. Sounds like asuran tech incoming.
Here is a sentry golem, looking kind of similar to the asuran golems in the original Guild Wars, which is really, really fun. Cool throwback. It makes perfect sense technology-wise, of course. Here we have another lay collector. Oh, and here we have another sentry golem. Freeze you. Trying to do as much damage as possible. Just obliterate our fool. And then let Timey, the only golem we want walking around here. Or a Surin and a golem. There might be another sentry golem walking around nearby that we need to be careful of. Also have an achievement marker here. We need to destroy all of the security mechanisms throughout the city, which I probably won't specifically go for. We have so many AoE opportunities on this character. It's just really nice.
Connection to ley energy is curious. I wonder if it could be employed against Mordremoth.
Going after the Rata Novan research is one thing. Can't waste time studying them now.
Ram, no one has ever wasted time studying.
Let's stay on course. Which way, Timey?
Now that we started the engine, I'm getting a sizable power signature. Might be a lab. Follow me and the big guy.
So let's go ahead, follow Timey to the draw of ley energy back this way. And we can kind of see a little bit of a hint on our mini map and the map as well, that there's some sort of bigger structure in Rata Novus, but we also see what look like the entrance to it.
Wait. Sorry guys, the signal just moved. I guess the lay equipment on Scruffy's not quite perfected yet.
It's fine. Let's just keep moving before we run into more trouble.
We can go ahead and head up into this direction, which looks so cool, but we also got a ton of ballistic cannons that are starting to shoot at us. Bram's helping us out a little bit. Let's go ahead and try to deal as much damage to this cannon as we can before it deals too much to us. We're taking a lot of damage there. We also have like the asuran glyphs all along this entire area, which is incredibly interesting. We have a sentry golem wandering up there with a bunch of ballistic cannons just shooting at us. We need to be a little bit extra careful in this area. Fortunately for us, it seems like the cannons get easily destroyed, which is good. Let's try to run up here while in Shroud. Try to deal with this sentry golem and also the cannon. And there we go, dealt with both. And we can see through this tunnel up there, we approach the bigger area.
We're back on track?
I think so. We're almost right on top of the source.
Almost right on top of the source. As we attune to what does indeed look like an asuran laboratory. Rata Novus Command Center. Got a big hole in the wall over there. And what looks to be an asuran gate.
An Asura gate. Similar in design, but probably similar in function.
Is it active? Why isn't it glowing if we turned on the power?
Good question. Let me see. Okay. Good news, bad news. Good news is there's enough power to turn this gate on. Bad bad news is something's interrupting the flow. Something big.
I think we found the culprit.
A ton of chalk. Let's go ahead. Try to AoE them down as best as we can. We have the flying one there, which looks so creepy, but it is defending the blitzer, so we have to kill it to bring down the shield, and then we can go ahead and defeat the blitzer itself as it runs off in this direction.
Ram!
Go! Go! Go!
Nice job, Timey.
Thanks. But Scruffy did most of the work.
Yeah, well, he's as much a part of the team as you.
I guess so. Sure.
The gate's out. Where do you think it goes? Rather soon?
As far as I know, they were never connected. It must lead deeper into this complex. We should test it out. Make sure it's safe.
How do we do that?
Someone just walks into it, and if they're not obliterated, it works. Who wants to try?
I suppose I'll try it.
So let's go ahead and find out if this is the end of the Gilder City story and we get obliterated, or if this leads somewhere deeper into the complex. And it looks like deeper into the complex it goes.
Great job not dying, Commander. I told you that gate would...
And that's not good for us.
I hope no one was planning on going back that way.
Where'd we end up?
There's a huge lay draw ahead of us. I bet my transverse wave inverter it's the Dragon Lab.
Wolfsbane.
We seem to be outnumbered.
This isn't a lab to them. It's a
Wait, the emblem on that blast door.
dragon. That must be it.
We need to get through that mess and open that lab.
We can't. The door that leads down those stairs is dead.
So we're trapped here? The only other way out was through the gate that just exploded?
Maybe? Probably. Yes.
Is there any way to get the doors working again?
Oh, hold on.
Ley energy powers this whole place, and this ley conduit is blown. It almost certainly rendered the doors to this room and the lab inoperative when it went. If we can complete the circuit, they'll both open for sure.
Any ideas, people?
I have a thought. Scruffy can bridge the gap. The ley tech I outfitted him with should conduct the energy.
But will he survive?
Well, I'm not sure.
Timey, back at Dry Top when the Inquest destroyed Scruffy and almost captured you, I can't...
You can't what? Let a child make her own decisions? I'm not a child, and this is what I'm doing. Maybe I wasn't ready for it at Dry Top, but I'm ready now.
Fair enough. But once the doors are open, we'll still have a ton of chalk to contend with.
I have an idea for that too, but first things first. All right, big guy. It's time. You know what to do.
Why did he stop?
Go on. It's okay. I'll be okay.
Very interesting moment there where Scruffy hesitated, almost like he was sentient. But over here we have Timey.
Thank you, Timey. Now about those Chok.
Yes, we're devastatingly outnumbered.
Commander, when you were young, do you remember the bad kids burning beetles with a magnifying lens?
I've heard stories. Why?
When we
Because
were
I'm
young.
about to be bad. The device in that room is basically a huge telescope. I can reconfigure all the lights in there to feed into the lenses, turning it into a giant heat ray.
And then we have ourselves a chalk cookout. Brilliant.
Do what you need to. We'll back you up.
Okay, here we go.
So let's protect Timey while she works. Basically meaning we're going to have to kill a ton of Chalk because there are a lot in here. And I feel like this is kind of like a similar story beat to the first mission where we would have been able to kill all those Chalk. It wasn't like that overwhelming. And we could do it in here too. We could just clear out all the Chalk and then just go to the door. I'm going to try to be a little preemptive. Just run around. Help Timey a little bit. Audio's definitely always a little weird, I feel like, with these recent Heart of Thorns story missions. Also, a struggle with the audio settings in Guild Wars 2, which leave a little bit to be deserved. Let's get this Chalk up here. We have this one panel right here. Canuck is down there just fighting. Bram is maybe joining us up here. Let's throw these welds down right here. Done all damage to the drone. But Timey's still running up this way. We should probably stick with her. She must have done something at this one panel, and now she's at this one. Bram's still fighting that one drone. We have all the way up here, and then looks like on the other side as well there is 3 opposites of the 3 on this side. But you might have to go down and back.
It's okay, Timey. We're right here.
Position the lenses on the microscope. Have to get to that console now.
Move!
And this is definitely a scary situation for Timey to be in as somebody who, 1, is so used to being inside of Scruffy, but 2, definitely really needs Scruffy, where she's in a very vulnerable position right now, where we really need to try to pay extra attention to make sure we defend her. And Canuck is just fighting 8 Chalk over there by himself, while Bram and I hang out. He's having a grand old time. This drone attacking. Kind of seemed like Bram instigated that fight. Here, Timey's interacting with this panel. Maybe we should run over here and try to clear out some of these Chalk. I do think we get some experience, maybe? No, we do not. Which is unfortunate. We could sit down here for a while. Oh, Timey.
Focusing all the light clusters in this room into one point.
It's cool to see this like mysterious text that we don't really know what it says. I mean, we might be able to translate it. Had a group pop up there. I wonder if we're gonna have another one that shows up. Kind of one-shot these Chalk. We're so powerful, it's insane. We one-shot that one. Oh, here we have a big group attacking. Should have another group that shows up in just a moment. We have some swarming from this direction, so I guess maybe that's that's what we're going for here.
I can't keep them away forever.
Got it! Watch out!
Go ahead and try to clear the way for Tiny as she runs this way. Or towards the center.
Now what?
Where...
Over here, Commander! Lure him over this way! Draw the chalk into the path of my beam!
we can draw them into the path of her beam, but we can also sit in it ourselves and take a ton of damage. Where it looks like they're kind of like moths to a flame right now. Doing so much damage to them on top of everything else we can do. And I think now at this point we could actually go around and like clear them out to some extent. Where it seems like we cleared out like a bunch over there when we went up the tower, and then they're not coming down this way, so they didn't respawn. But this one just respawned. I just want to kind of come over here because I think it'll be a little bit faster if we just kill the chalk like that. I still have more showing up. There's that drone. We have this drone. Should be everything. Oh, another one. And two more. They just keep showing up. Let's go ahead and sit back here with Timey. And there we go. Still a couple more chalk left around here.
Smells better than I would have imagined, too.
That was definitely a cool sight with Timey standing in the light beam and then holding the mirror. But we have now successfully opened the door to the Dragon Lab. We also got a golem on the ground there. And what looks to be another Asura gate. So let's continue running through this direction with all our friends, and hopefully we'll be able to uncover the secrets of this lab and maybe find something to help fight against Mordremoth.
Is this it? Is this the right place?
Boot up these machines and we'll find out. Huh.
Similar to everything else in Rata Novus, this is another really cool area. Lots of screens in here, very advanced technologically. Just such a cool area. Let's go ahead and turn on the computers.
These Rata Novans had a serious beef against Primordus.
Anything on Mordremoth?
No. Well, sort of. It's about all the Elder Dragons.
What is it?
Based on their extensive research on Primordus, the Rata Novans determined that each Elder Dragon had a weakness. A unique, respective weakness.
And does it say...
What it is? No.
how easily the fleet went down? It's obvious the way you and my mother stopped Zaitan won't work here. So what do we do now?
This is good news, people. We've been charging headlong against Mordremoth, not even knowing if it can be beaten. Only knowing we had to beat it. Now we know it's possible. Now, our mission is to find out how. To do that, we have to get closer to Mordremoth. And thanks to that ley map, we know exactly where it is.
Let's catch up with the others then. I suppose it'd be nice to have some help finding this weakness.
Thanks for everything, Timey. So, does this mean no more Scruffy?
Oh no. I already have design plans for Scruffy 2.0. Little trim here, a little tuck there, and weapons, lots of weapons. But no golem for the immediate future means this is the end of the road for me. I'll be staying in Rata Novus with all this delectable research. Bummer!
Alone? Are you sure?
Hey, would you ask Ritlock if he was sure? To knock?
Point taken. Should I send word to someone back at Rata soon? Let them know you're here?
No thanks. I'll take care of that. In like a few weeks or so.
Don't want to get flaunted again, huh?
Not particularly.
Okay, Timmy. I hope to see you soon.
Me too, Commander. Give that dragon a good one for me.
And here we say goodbye to Timmy, but maybe for the best, where we can go ahead, pick a chalk weapon. Go ahead and just pick the axe skin. I don't know if I want to use this weapon because let's preview this. It looks a little creepy, but very, very cool looking in its own right because of that. We have completed this story mission, and now we can go ahead and do sign cutting. Let's go ahead, leave to Tangled Depths, and it looks like we are going to have to double check here where we have Itso, or where is it? We needed a specific mastery, which I think we successfully got. New Hawk hunting maybe? But let's go ahead and go and explore Rata Novus for just a little bit perhaps. Where it looks like this is the start of the outpost here. Let's go ahead, grab this waypoint really quickly. Where I definitely need a ton more mastery points and just masteries in general. Where I think there is a jumping puzzle that we can go ahead and do that's going to take us to a similar, or to the area that we were just at. Alright, let's go ahead and find the beginning of this, but we need a very specific mastery to get there. And I kind of, ooh, there's a lot of turrets down here. Let's get down here, and you can see this exalted beacon. I'm not sure which mastery we need in order to do it, but I think it's exalted markings because this is an artifact that we can interact with. So let's go ahead and grab this. Where we need to yes, we can. Where we need to carry this around to repel the ravenous creatures of the depths. Where basically there's like 1,000 little piranhas that will go ahead and attack us, which is not something we want to deal with as we try to swim through here. But we can go ahead and get up to here. There's also a ton of vistas and hero challenges all around here that we should be paying attention to as well. Where we got this exalted beacon, but I think we're at the end of the dangerous parts with the piranhas. But if you remember in the area we were just in, there was kind of some openings up in the ceiling, up on top of the walls, that we can go ahead and sneak in through the back entrance here. And this is technically maybe classified as a jumping puzzle. It's a little tricky to get to. I definitely remember being a little confused my first time coming through here. But then, in fact, actually I remember, once we get to this point, we just have this basic jumping area, which maybe it's actually over here. We can run up this ramp on top of this. And then over to here. So definitely a tiny bit of a jumping puzzle. Definitely, I guess, counts on paper, but it's like super easy except for this one jump. Okay, up here, and then over this wall. Here we are, and there is a hero challenge for us here too. We got Lost Lab Locator. Find the secret Rata Novus laboratory. Let's go ahead and commune with this place of power. And really kind of like the same area that we were just in, but significantly less chalk. But we can also come over towards this panel here, and we can use the console to do something. Not exactly sure what it does. Where now we're getting markers up here. This might be an achievement for something, but truly I do not remember at all. So I'm trying to navigate up here. Okay, we can activate that, activate this, and then this one. Jump to here, get that one, and then there's this one. The door is open, providing an exit from this location. Okay, so we got a hero challenge that's located here, and then we can come into the Dragon Lab, where lore-wise Timey would be in here currently. I also have a chest over here we can go ahead and open. So I guess this is like kind of completing the jumping puzzle. I also have the console here. If you want to read through this, you can learn a little bit more about what's going on. But then we have this asuran gate, which might take us back towards Rata Novus. We just drop right there.
Quick, find its missing parts.
Alright, let's go ahead and explore this direction. There is a very dangerous hero challenge. Oh, so much damage. I forgot about that. Let's get around here. But there's also this entire lane that we haven't been to just yet. So let's get out into Rata Novus lane. This is so stressful. Okay. And we're out here, and we can run down to the ley line confluence, but there's also all this stuff up this way, where there's so much we could hypothetically explore. And there's definitely a lot of players around here. It looks like they might be prepping for the meta event, but that's not really something I want to specifically do right now. Can we get back into Rata Novus? Let's break that. And then up over here. We have 19 seconds left to complete this event. But I want to go towards the Decayed Hive, which I guess I could have gone north here to get to it. But in my brain, I'm wanting to go this direction, the way we came in. There's also like a ton of new hawk wallows are around here, which would help us navigate around this area as well. But 5 minutes until chalk defense is active. Where there's a ton of ballistic turrets everywhere. This is much safer when the meta was completed. Let's try to sneak this way. We might have to kill some of the chalk here. A little deadly. And then there is a vista that I want to try to get to, but I am kind of blanking on the specific path. We don't want to go there. I think we want to come around this way. Of course, this is a little bit more dangerous, but we want to head towards the south. Take a look at our map really quickly. I think must be somewhere around here. We might have to go up a little bit more. Come here, there's this like torch that's right there. I'm not sure if that's leading to anything specifically, but maybe around here. There's also up there. I'm not sure if we can get up to here. And let's just check down here really quickly, because we're kind of looking for a hole in the wall. But I don't see anything specifically. And I want to try to get out of combat so our raptor can heal like that. This torch looks a little suspicious, and I just dropped down. So let's navigate back around here really quickly. Is this a hole in the wall? Oh, here we go. I think this is what we're looking for. Let's get off our raptor. And yes, right over here, we have this vista. And we can see a really cool sight of Rata Novus, but then we can get a cool vista sight as well. Just very, very cool. 68% complete with Tangled Depths now. There is a very difficult hero challenge, and I'm wondering if, since the meta event has begun, if the turrets are deactivated now. You can also just drop down this entire way. Oh yeah, they are not deactivated. So I think I'm going to ignore this hero challenge for now, and let's go ahead and go back towards the Order of Whispers camp, and we can begin the next story mission. And there's definitely a lot more for us to do, but this is the final story mission in Act 3 of Heart of Thorns, where we can find the tracks rocks left behind somewhere right around here. Oh, we're so close. Right around here. Let's try to triangulate this location. We're gonna have a ton of Mordrim attacking us. Examine the marking. There we go.
Locks was here. His marks leave no question.
Got a new hawk hunting stash. This tormentor really just wants to mess with us. And trying to find the next set of tracks by rocks down this way. We might have to... no, it's over here. There we go. Got this marking on a rock.
Something came through after, but I still think that's one of Rock's signs.
And then into this tunnel, we're gonna have another one, but there's just so many Mordrim around here. We're definitely heading deep into Mordrim territory.
The way those are arranged, clearly a sign.
Clearly a sign. So next, we're gonna kind of have to head down to where we fight the Chalk Garant in Ogre Lane, which I think is right below us. So let's drop down here like this. Probably want to dismount, or it'll do it for us automatically. Let's run through here really quickly. I can just obliterate those two chalk. It's like so satisfying. I want to run past these, and I think the tracks are going to be below us. But also the Chalk Garant is literally about to spawn, but I've basically done everything I want with the Chalk Garant. We're somewhere right here.
Rox was here.
Now let's continue this way, away from the Garant and into the tunnel that is the back entrance that I showed last time I was exploring through Tangled Depths. Or we could also try this hero challenge again. We'll probably fail miserably. Maybe somebody's doing it. Also, I gotta find the tracks. I think the tracks are gonna be on the other side. So let's just navigate around here really quickly. And again, just like with Orc Basin, it's going to take us a little bit longer to complete Tangled Depths, just because we need specific masteries in order to uncover everything. But we almost have where we need to go. Must be like right here. There we go.
These tracks look fresh. They must be getting close.
And now we can find our team. Right, let's go ahead once again. Head into Dragon Stand, and we can see where we show up on this side of the map, because we went through the quote-unquote like main entrance, which did take us over to here, but we have this little side entrance here. And let's go ahead and just continue further a little bit and get our first sneak peek of the Pact base camp here in Dragon Stand, because I just want to complete this story mission really quickly. And we will be heading into the last couple of story missions soon enough. But here, sign cutting complete. And we have Bitter Harvest, explore the Jungle Dragon stronghold. But that's going to be for a little bit from now. Right, let's go ahead and head back into Tangled Depths, where I guess I could just waypoint directly there, because there is the hero challenge that I want to take a look at. But then there is also some other stuff around this general area that I want to take a quick look at as well. Let's go ahead, navigate around here. We can try to get up towards where the hero challenge is located. Alright, let's go ahead, dismount, hop into our glider. And I think, again, this is one of 3 different bosses, and I think some of them are easier than the others. So here we have the champion sniper, but, oh, so much damage. But the other 2 are going to spawn as kind of a weaker enemy. And yeah, this is just too much for us to deal with. Go ahead, give it a shot, but I think I'm going to do what is called a tactical retreat. And let's go ahead and glide this direction, where we can go ahead and drop down into a hole in this area, which is going to let us go back into the underwater tunnels of Tangled Depths. And this is kind of like an aspect of this entire map that a lot of people find confusing, just because there's so many layers to this map, where all the Heart of Thorns maps have like a ton of layers, but this one like really has like many layers to the map. And on top of all the ones that already exist on the land in this map, and then like the underground caverns, you then have this underground aquatic cavern that we can navigate through. And if you take a look at the map, we can actually see everything connected together, where this is like the same tunnel as we were at Rata Novus. But really, we only ever come to this area to go to like very specific locations, like what we are doing right now and what we did earlier in Rata Novus. Let's go ahead and get a new one. I don't think we need it. But we have the Jellyfish Grotto right here with this hero challenge that we can go ahead and commune with. That's just going to be one more hero challenge completed for us. 7 out of 11. Definitely getting a little close to completing. But then let's go this way. I feel like we needed another one of those crystals, but potentially not. And now that it fades away, it's kind of holding my breath there for a second. It looks like we are fine. Or let's go up here, because I want to go to a very specific location that I'm hoping I remember. Because I think, and yes, it is indeed up here. We did a little bit of a jumping puzzle earlier, but up here we have a very specific and kind of lengthy jumping puzzle that we can go ahead and participate in, starting on this crystal. And this is just an absolutely beautiful area filled to the brim with a bunch of purple crystals. Let's go ahead, jump up this way. Just try to navigate around this area as best we can. Hopefully, in our efforts, we do not fall, but realistically, we'll probably fall at least once. But I think the start of this jumping puzzle with these crystals is a little bit easier than the next part. And of course, this jumping puzzle and many of the jumping puzzles in Heart of Thorns are actually kind of trivialized if you return to them after unlocking masteries in future expansions. Especially Path of Fire and End of Dragons. But we have like this formation. Okay, we can get up there. And then we can glide straight over towards this way where we completed the crystal section. But then we get to the root section where we have a big tunnel leading up this way. And a ton of roots that we can go ahead and try to jump up on. Maybe here's the best way, or maybe we want to go somewhere else. Immediately, a little bit more challenging. I feel like it must be here. But it's kind of like slippery because the roots are like small, so I kind of just like fall off. Let's get to here. It must be... Okay, there we go. I have to jump and then move forward. And then let's try to get onto this rock wall maybe to get to here. Let's just do the same technique of jumping then moving to get to here. And then up here. Then maybe this route is the next. Oh, I'm falling. Let's try to recover like that. And then carefully. This is like a little bit stressful now that we're getting so high up. But if you just like work your way up the roots, going kind of slow is definitely like a good option, as it is with most jumping puzzles in Guild Wars 2. You know, going slow takes more time, but if you fall and you have to do everything again, that's more time wasted than if you had just gone slow in the first place. But over to here, we have made it towards the end where we have locks, LOX, and state your name to verify guest list inclusion, and we can say we are the Sensational Zen. Open this door immediately, and access is granted, where we can go ahead and run into this big area which once belonged to Zin, the founder of Rata Novus, and an important character that we know a little bit about. It looks to be an old panel here, but in order to complete this jumping puzzle, we have a little bit of a secret here, where we can come into this spotlight, which we learned there's fiber optic cables, is that what Tommy said, heading to the surface. We can go ahead and type /dance, get Disco Dancing Delver is the name of the achievement. We have a ton of holograms of Zin, titled Genius, just showing up here, just dancing away, and achievement complete. It's just really, really fun. I love this area a lot. It's a really fun little secret hidden area that is mechanically considered a jumping puzzle, I believe. But everything's kind of activated now, which is fun. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at our map, because there are definitely several more map completion objectives that we can look at completing in the future. There's a bunch of stuff over here by the Scar Camp. And this is everything that we're going to have to continue at some point, which some we can do now, and we have a ton of adventures. And over in Orc Basin, we also got a ton of stuff now. And now we have unlocked Dragon Stand, where I think within the next few episodes, we have Dragon Stand serving as a massive meta map that I'm going to go ahead and take time to try to find a meta event running that we can go ahead and do. And hopefully I can do it live, but maybe I'll do a voiceover and we'll have like a quick episode here somewhere. But we also have so much more that we can explore, that we can continue looking at as well. And then as we do all that, we can go ahead and take a look at Act 4, the final act of the Heart of Thorns story, which I think is just a very exciting idea that we're already kind of getting close to that point. We have been in Heart of Thorns for a while now, but definitely so much more for us to explore. And after we complete the Heart of Thorns story, we will not be done with Heart of Thorns maps, because there's still some more to do. And as we head into Living World Season 3, we will be looking at some more stuff here as well. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this episode, and I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time in the world of Tyria. Goodbye.